This inquiry is on the sustainability of commercial salmon farming in Tasmania. Tasmania produces 23% of Australia's growing aqua farming industry. Atlantic salmon are not native to Tasmania, but the species are farmed en masse in coastal regions for human consumption. They make up 37% of the total quantity of seafood produced within Australia and are a part of a global industry that has seen substantial growth in the last 30 years. Aquaculture farming is the rearing of fish in submerged cages. These cages share the water environment with existing ecologies, and these ecologies are affected by the farm's presence. To be an informed consumer of salmon products by considering the environmental impact of food choices was the catalyst for this inquiry. My methodology included Google, Google Scholar, and Curtin Library database searches, where I used Boolean structures to gain specific search results. Maintaining objectivity was challenging due to the abundance of highly emotive news articles. However, the quality of information was judged on where it was published in combination with the amount that it was cited to give a sound indication of the article's credibility. One of the most visible environmental challenges aqua farming faces is the buildup of nutrient-rich sediment that accumulates beneath the sea cages. The fish in aquaculture produce a visible waste that is made up of fecal matter, uneaten feed, and toxic chemicals that form a nitrogen and sulfide-rich sediment on the seabed. The topmost layer of seabed is called the benthic layer, and it is important for sustaining diversity of microplant life and bacteria that provide food and habitats for local species. However, the sediment produced by aquaculture damages this layer by reducing microbial diversity and promoting overabundant plant growth of certain species that are toxic to fish and marine animals. This sediment may even have wider-ranging environmental implications in addition to those local to the farms by the transfer of the sediment to other areas. Because the underwater landscape and climate differ significantly across regions, including the extent that a farm is exposed to currents, the measurement of sediment transfer and impacts are complex and so far remain largely unmeasured. The WWF, the World Wildlife Fund, awards accreditation to farms that meet the social and sustainable parameters as prescribed by their standards. Tasmania's farms are fully accredited. However, many of the standards require monitoring of sediment accumulation and not mitigation. Edgar, Davey, and Shepherd argue that this monitoring is insufficient considering the substantial benthic layer damage observed in Tasmania by their study. Addressing the digestibility of fish feed could assist in reducing the amount of organic matter that damages the sea floor. Feed that is high in protein is more easily digested by fish, and so worms and insects have been identified as potential alternative to current plant-based feeding materials. Also, moving farms into open waters could lessen and even prevent sediment buildup. However, moving farms could prove costly and there may still be environmental considerations for such a move. The depletion of the environment to the extent that it impacts the aquaculture industry is a consideration for companies who have a vested interest in maintaining fish stocks into the future. The strongest curriculum linked to this inquiry was the Science as a Human Endeavour descriptor, due to the investigation into the impact that accreditation, informed by science, controls fish farm processes. Sustainability as a cross-curriculum priority is compared closely with the research topic through the exploration of the ecosystems of the benthic layer and their health for sustaining life. This inquiry would suit a Year 6 class. This is because the curriculum descriptors for this year link closely to the investigations undertook during my inquiry and because of the complexity of information that this topic generated.